Hello. Okay. Hi. All right, so I'm so excited to talk with Tabrett today. I'm a little early. I wanted to try to figure out this thing where I saw people asking questions, and the question would pop up on the Insta Live, so I'm like trying to figure out. Questions from your viewers will show up here. Okay. Well, I feel like the questions are turned on, but maybe if you guys ask them there, they can pop up for me in tab so that you guys can, we can pick some cool questions to talk to you with Tabrett today, if we figure this out. So, I'm not sure if she's here yet, but I'm so excited to talk with her, you guys. It's been so long since I've seen Tab, and I loved seeing all your requests for so many great actors that I've worked with, and I'm down to keep doing this. It feels like it's a Sunday thing. I guess the last two have been Sunday. So hoping that it'll work out, that we can keep doing this. So everybody start thinking about who I should ask next time. Or I can also just use all your other suggestions of all the wonderful people that you suggested last time. So I text Tab about how to join this Instagram Live. I messaged her about it, so I'm hoping that we'll be able to figure it out, and thank you guys so much for your patience last time with me and Yada trying to figure it out. I'm definitely getting a lot better at it each time. I feel less like an old lady. So yeah, hoping that Tab will join us soon and that we can figure it out. So the question section here, if I click on this, oh, cute. So if I click on one of these questions, does it pop up for you guys? Do you miss the last ship? I miss a lot of the people from the last ship. I miss, it was really cool having that job here in LA and being with everyone. And I miss just how active and fun that show was. And all the languages that I got to speak. It was really demanding work. But I'm really excited for you guys to see Paradise Lost, which is so soon. It's crazy. All right, so if I press this X, will it go away? Wow, you guys, that was really not that hard for me to figure out. Okay, let's see if Tab has sent a request yet. Oh my God, Cassie's here. Hi, Cassiopeia. Okay, but Tabrett is supposed to come on here and ask me to join this. So for those of you who are here that don't know Tabrett, she and I worked together on Legend of the Seeker, and Cassie, I love you so much. And it was like 2008 to 2010 or 11, 2010. So she joined in the second season, and she's just such a phenomenal person and actress, and I'm so excited for you guys to talk with her. So I can't tell if she's on here. How anybody want to tell me how I can tell if Tab is here? Because I don't see her request. I see requests from other lovely people to go live with, but I don't see Tab. You haven't aged at all. Bless you, Pastel Black. A lot of expensive face serums and other things. And right now it's just a lot of, caffeine and alcohol and sugar. You can do it too. So yeah, Kaylin and Kara, let's see if she's here. So go live with, I still don't see her. Maybe she's not here yet. I was a little early. I was excited. I was so excited. All right, let's answer another question while we're here. Ooh, it's a Yada question. Do you wish you and Yada could have a spinoff pre-Rose death? It could be called The Greatest Love Story Ever Told. Yes, that is a very easy question to answer, and it's one word, yes. I like these questions. They're really cute. Last time I didn't know how to do that. I really feel like I'm learning things, guys. Okay, let's do another one. What is the most essential thing in your life? I mean, other than like, food, air, water, like those sorts of things, I would say my kids. I know, is that boring? All right, let's see if Tab's here. I hope we got the time difference right, because at first I was like, yes, she's here. Okay, let me ask. I was like, oh, it's Tuesday or Monday. I don't know, I got it totally wrong. And she's like, no, babe, because of course she's in Australia. So yes, Tab, you're upside down. Hi, yes. Yes, this is so awesome. How are you?
I'm okay. I haven't done this before. I was trying to have some greenery, like for some calm.
I love it. Okay, so it's is it Monday morning? You're in Australia, right?
I'm in Sydney, Australia. I got the time wrong. I thought it was like 10 o'clock to come on, but it was like 9 o'clock because of daylight saving. So anyway, here I am.
Oh my God, I'm so
Yeah,
happy that you're here and we figured this out. I feel like
yeah,
what a great job we've done.
exactly.
How are you doing? How's Sydney? What's the lockdown situation like there? What's going on?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's sort of we've started to sort of close things down, like all the bars and the restaurants are closed. You can get takeaway from some of the restaurants.
Yeah.
They've still got sort of quite a few retail stores open.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They haven't fully closed that yet, although some brands have closed down.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so it's sort of like it's very confusing messages here. I mean, they're sort of
Yeah.
saying, isolate, but keep stores open, but don't go out, but go to the store. It's just very confusing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What's happening over there?
Um, well, yeah, restaurants are closed, bars are closed, but you can get food to go.
Yeah.
Um, and or buy gift cards to support the restaurants, or there's a lot of great stuff. People are really trying to support, I just think of all the waiters and all the chefs and everybody, it's got to be just so devastating for people that live, week to week, or, off their paycheck for just that week. And so, but yeah, we haven't been going out at all. We've been like seriously locked down for over a month now. It's like,
Whoa.
yeah, we've been pretty conservative.
Yeah.
And, in New Zealand, because, we obviously have so much of our family is there, they've done like the most aggressive lockdown. Like you can't get takeaway from a restaurant, like everything is closed. But we're just
Hey,
hunkered down.
hasn't the Prime Minister there said a no bonking rule? I actually read, like, if you've started dating someone, you're allowed to bonk them.
I don't know. I haven't seen that. Oh
Yeah,
my God,
I read
Jacinda.
something
I love her
that,
so much.
if you're not living with them, you're not allowed to bonk them.
Wow, that is aggressive. That is some serious protocol.
Quarantine. Yeah. It sort of makes sense. I mean, if you're going outside and then you sort of like connect with the person I mean, it does make sense, but
Yeah.
you
I
know,
mean, that's rule number one. I do
yeah,
feel for like my friends now that have, that are single. They don't have, like, I'm like, if you don't have a pet or a loved one, you are alone right now. That's got to be so hard. How's your
yeah.
kitty?
She's fantastic. She's right in front of me with giving me lots of emotional support. How's Henry?
He's great. He was
Yeah.
driving me nuts last night though. We have like a feral black cat that stalks our backyard, and when Henry like senses him around, he's like up all night trying to get out, driving me nuts, but he is hilarious. He's like just massive and huge, and he's getting up there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because he'd be the same age as Misha,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my
I'm
God.
so happy that worked out when you found the person to look after her because you had to
Mm.
quarantine her, right? Before you moved back home.
I did. So I had an amazing girl called Evelyn help me out. You know,
Oh,
it was a miracle. You know, it was sort of this desperate act that I had to sort of, you know, keep her from a shelter.
oh,
And I had some amazing people, you know, um, write me letters offering to sort of take Misha, and I think Evelyn was the first one that I heard from, and I just, you know, I just thought, you know, this feels right,
yeah.
and so her and her father like drove from Arizona to come and pick her up, like amazing,
People
isn't
are
she?
wonderful. I hope she's watching now.
Yeah, she's fantastic. You know, we're still in contact, and I often think of that, you know, and just think, what a miracle, you know, what a miracle.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah.
So, what's this? Is it, I guess it's summer still there, right? It's pretty hot.
We're coming out of summer.
Right.
Going into what we call autumn.
Yeah.
Um, you know, the mornings are a little fresh.
Yeah.
Still sort of warm. You know, it's not
Yeah.
winter. Like you guys are in winter, right? You're coming out of winter.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cold today here in LA. It's gonna rain tonight. You know, I think everybody's hopeful that with summer and the heat, it'll hopefully this virus won't thrive as well, you know, in the heat.
Mm,
There's been talk of that, but I mean, who knows? Who knows?
yeah.
But it's still LA, you know, it's always warmish here.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Do you miss Los Angeles at all?
I do. Definitely. I do. Yeah, absolutely. You know,
No.
I do. I mean, I would love to go back there. I mean, you know, the sort of dream is to kind of go in between Australia and Los Angeles,
Yeah,
um, you know, and get the best of both worlds.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
you know, I've got great friends there, and you know, I
yeah.
love the hike. Um,
We went on
but
some good hikes.
was that?
We went on some good hikes.
We did, we
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen you what since we went on that like train thing around the Grove.
Gosh,
With,
what year was that? How little was Frankie?
I think she was like 7. I think. How old
Then
is
it would
she
be
now?
well, she's 9.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. She was probably about 7, and we went on like that little train like thing that went
Trolley.
around. Yes.
Cute. Oh gosh, Los Angeles, like transport, the only mass transportation is just for like novelty and being cute. Yeah.
So, what are the supermarkets like over there? I mean, is there sort of like a big queue to get in, or?
Um, we've been trying to not go at all really. But when we do go, I've been going to like the less popular supermarkets in our neighborhood just because I want to be around less people.
Yeah.
Um, but I did drive by Trader Joe's and there's lines outside, but maybe that means that they're letting less people in the store, which would be great. You know, maybe they're controlling and they're only letting, you know, 30 people in at a time. I don't know. But
Mhm.
you know, they have in the queue, you know, they have like markers, so you have to stand 6 feet apart
Yeah.
when you're checking out. Yeah, and now the mayor finally said, hey, everyone should wear face masks when you go outside, even like a bandana or a scarf, you know, save the medical grade ones for actual medical professionals. So people like I went to the store last week and just did like you know, needed to do another big shop for my family. It's crazy how much food you go through when you do 3 meals a day for a family of 4. I mean, it's so much, you know. Um, so I spent like $500, but I did full. I looked crazy. I was in like I put on like this giant sweatsuit over my clothes. I had my baseball hat on. I had my glasses. I had my mask. I had gloves.
Yeah.
And I before I went in my house, I stripped off everything, put the sweats in the wash, got into the shower. Like I've gone full like extreme. And then I washed every piece of fruit that came in my house. I wiped down every box with a Clorox wipe. I've gone full psycho, but I'm like, it actually makes me feel relaxed then, you know? So I'm like, I'm going to do it if it makes me feel calm.
I think you have to. I think you have to do everything you possibly can right now. Like, there's no fucking around. Like,
Yeah.
you've got to do everything you can.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
So
you
yeah,
know,
and there's no real and there are some grocery delivery services, but I feel really strongly that those should be reserved for people that can't go out of their house, or they are immune compromised, or are elderly. So I'm like, we're able to go. I'm just gonna be like really extreme when I bring everything home. So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
But everybody's healthy. Everybody's doing really well. But that being said, like, we're not going to go see my parents. They're over 70, and I'm not going to risk that, of course. And I have had a friend who got it, and then her whole family got it that she was staying with, and she's, our age, and she's healthy.
yeah,
No pre-existing conditions. She's not a smoker, but she was like that it was horrible. She said one night she was scared to go to sleep because she wasn't sure if she was like getting enough oxygen. It's no joke. Like, we can't mess around with this. So staying home, being safe, everybody being as cautious as you can, which is one of the reasons I want to do stuff like this, like meet up with people so that we can support each other and be there for each other, and hopefully bring a little light into this world during this.
yeah. And I think what you said about sort of keeping calm is like key,
Yeah.
because you've got like COVID, which is like, the assassin. And then, you've also got to keep your mental sort of well-being in check as well. That's so
Yeah.
important, because stress does
Oh,
terrible to the
I
body.
know. It's the worst thing for your body, right?
Yeah. And you don't want to be stressed right now because, that lowers your immunity, and,
Yeah.
you want to keep your immunity great.
Yeah.
So I don't know what you're doing, but I know that I'm trying to put myself, like I'll only look at the news, 3 times a
Yeah.
day, because I was kind of obsessed with it. I wanted to sort of
Oh,
find out
really?
as much as possible. Yeah, yeah. And then I was kind of like, this is not, no, I need to put myself in check here.
Good.
Um, and like have good people that you can speak to, like
Yeah.
have a tribe of people, put some practices in place,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
breathing exercises, exercise.
Seriously. Oh, it's so nuts. Oh,
Oh, no.
it is. But honestly, I'm really just thankful. Like, this brought us together. I'm gonna like glass half full of this moment, and I'm just so happy to see you.
I know. I know. It's been a
Um,
day
I
since
was
we've
thinking, I was like, oh my gosh, should I show Frankie Seeker? Is she old enough? What do you think? She's
yes,
9.
yes,
There was some racy stuff in that show, girl.
yes. It's very educational though, you know. Um, it's
Should we answer some questions? I can click
yes.
on this button and look at questions about all right. What do you miss the most about New Zealand?
The grass. It was
Mm,
fluoro. I'd never seen anything like it.
yeah,
Just like the landscape,
yeah,
um,
so pretty.
which it was sort of like hard to take in, when you
Mm,
kind of amongst it every day. But
yeah,
man, like just that fluoro green grass,
yeah, so pretty. So
yeah,
pretty.
so magical.
Yeah, I miss that. I don't miss the rain. But I miss the people, and um I miss be like, I didn't realize how adventurous and fun that show was. I mean, maybe because I was just so uncomfortable in like a leather corset all the time. But we didn't have it easy with what we were wearing in terms of
Did
like,
not have it easy, Bridget.
oh my
That's
god.
like an understatement.
Oh my god, you had it worse, I think, especially in the beginning when you were like, you couldn't like turn your head. You're like, hey
In the
guys.
like I was like, should I be feeling suffocated or like because I'm meant to be acting it, but I'm actually feeling suffocated here.
Yeah. You could not do that if you were claustrophobic. No
I
way.
was, I am claustrophobic.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
and that was part of the issue. Like I was just like, you know. I mean, it looked amazing, but
yeah.
anyway, it was good that we got all that sorted eventually.
All right, here's another question.
Yeah.
What's your best memories about working together? I remember that scene where we had a massive fight together, and it was like in this clearing in the forest, and Dana choreographed it, I feel like, and I had Craig's sword, and
Yeah.
you were like smashing dudes up, and we freaking nailed it, and it was like a total rad girl power moment. I remember that being like such an awesome fun scene.
Yeah. I remember like towards the end, when I relaxed a bit, like just it got really funny, like in between takes, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
Um, because at first I was like, I don't really, like, and then when you start to sort of relax into it towards the end, it became really funny, like,
Goofy, yeah.
yeah, like we'd be talking about random stuff and it's like, Ross, save the world, and
It was
um,
like exhausting mentally to put yourself in that place every day because the stakes were always so high, like, or everyone will die if we don't save them. And when I was like trying to seriously go there, you're like, by the end of it, you're like, I can't. I'm like, it's so draining. You had to
yeah,
laugh.
physically, that was like, the hardest thing I've ever had to do, it was just like you'd get to the end of the day and you're like, I cannot lift my arm up, and then I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to do this all again tomorrow,
Yeah,
you know,
I
and,
know.
so it was sort of from like a fitness point of view,
Yeah.
it was just like crazy, but, I'd love to go back and we should have like a Legend of the Seeker reboot, babe.
Okay. Do I have to wear a leather corset?
Yes.
Shit. Okay, here's the next question. Do you both ever get to keep anything from Legend of the Seeker production? Did you keep anything?
Yeah, I kept the Agile, and it was really funny because when I moved house, I had a box and I had the Agile thing there, and the guy was like moving my stuff, and he was like, "What's that?" And I'm like, "No, seriously, I'm like an actress on a show." Like he's like, "Yeah, right," and I'm like, "No, seriously." So
Oh
yeah,
my
I
God.
I kept the Agile. And I think costume gave me, one of the beautiful necklaces
Ooh,
that
pretty.
I wore from the princess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Gorgeous.
What about you?
Oh my God. I have a dress. I have a white Confessor dress. I have a corset, and I have a set of daggers. They're
Oh
all
my
at
God.
my mom's house.
Wow.
Yeah,
See,
and I um at the time at the time I have more than I got the wedding ring that I wore, and Beanie was so cool. I was like, hey Beanie, I want to auction something off because my mom had just survived breast cancer,
mm,
and I auctioned it off for a local breast cancer charity and organization that pays for mammograms for women that don't have health insurance or can't afford them. And I think we raised like $2,000 just like
wow.
auctioning that ring off, which I was so happy to that it went to a home where it would be appreciated, because I also was like, it'll just sit in my in my jewelry box, and I'll enjoy it, but I know that it's probably owned by someone now who's wearing it every single day, and really, and then
Yeah.
I also am looking at my bookshelf. Let me get it. Hold on. There's one more thing. Look at this.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a little confessor. Props. Is it Mike gave it to me? I forget what episode it's from. Does anybody know what episode this was from? You get 7,000 points if you know. I yeah, and I actually I'm so happy that I have those things, you know, because it's like, I don't know. I like tangible stuff. I'm also a bit of a hoarder, so I have to watch that about myself. But yeah, it's so weird to like look back at that time because it feels, I don't know, does it feel like it was forever ago for you?
It feels like a lifetime ago. And it's just often that thing, you know, you have an experience, and then when you reflect back on it, you're like, you know, and it was also a time in my life when so much changed, you know,
Mm,
so
mm.
much changed for me. And yeah, I'd like to go back with what I know now and do it again. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I often have that, and it was also at a time before Marvel or anything like that, you know.
Or even Game of Thrones.
I know. And yeah, because Game of Thrones started like a year after we finished.
Yep.
Um, that yeah, I have quite a bit of nostalgia for sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I met Eamon there. Jesus, like,
I know, I
like
know.
it's, it is the single greatest life-changing, job I'm ever gonna have, I mean, in terms of, the trajectory of my life, there's and I also feel like I grew so much on through that experience and
Mm,
after, of course.
mm,
All right, let me
mm.
find another question.
Yeah.
What you guys can't ask Jane the Virgin questions. You have to ask questions for me and Tab.
That's Jane.
Jane's a show I did here in LA for 5 years.
I know.
Okay, here's a juicy one. You think Kara and Kaylin would have made a good couple? Because I do.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I mean, had we gone more seasons, it would have happened, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There would have been a major love triangle happening there.
I mean, I already felt like it was there. It just wasn't like we didn't really play it. I feel like, does it happen in the books? I forget. I
I
forget.
don't know. I mean, I know Kara had a lot to do with Richard in the books. Like there's a
Right,
whole, they get up to some stuff,
right. I
naughty stuff.
bet they do. I bet they do. All right.
Anymore.
Here's one. Did you both read Legend of the Seeker books, at least the first one? I did. I read the first one and the prequel, and I think I read the second one, and then I skipped around because, the show didn't follow a linear track with the books at all. And so I would read like the sections of the book that pertained to the episode we were working on. How about you?
You know, I think because I sort of like, I feel like me sort of joining the show, it happened really quickly. Like I didn't have any sort
Right.
of things. So it was just kind of like, woof, there you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
And it was, how many episodes did we do? Like 22 or something?
We did 22 each year. Yeah.
Yeah. And there was so much to get through,
Oh,
like
yeah.
it took me a little while when I first sort of came on board to be like, okay, like lack of
Yeah.
sleep, physical, reading the lines, the
Yeah.
language.
Yeah.
That
I remember I got more of a break when you joined the second season because they would have episodes that were really focused on Kara,
yeah,
and like it was really full on for you, especially in the first half of that season. It was like really about your journey, and it was a
absolutely.
lot. Like you were in
Yeah,
every scene every day.
yeah. And so I was trying to sort of get a feel for just try and find my legs,
Yeah, for sure.
And I can't remember what book it was, but the book that had a lot to do with Kara and Richard,
Mm.
I did read a lot of that. But then, the writing was so good that we had in every episode that I just, consumed myself there, and it was sort of it was there on the page,
Yeah.
everything that I needed to know, and just the excitement of getting the scripts like every week. I'm like, oh my god, this is so exciting, you
Yeah.
know.
It was
uh,
also, it was because it was such a sprint, 9-month sprint of doing all those episodes in a row.
Totally.
All
Getting
right.
up at like 4 a.m.
I know.
Getting home.
All right, you can answer this one. I want to be Mord-Sith. I think she means Mord-Sith. How would that
Yeah.
person be a Mord-Sith? Tab?
Say that again.
She says, this next question says, I want to be a Mord-Sith? Question mark?
Yeah.
I mean,
What's it?
yeah. I mean, what do you think about the whole, you know, the whole backstory of the Mord-Sith? And I mean, the fans are obsessed with it. Like, I bump into Comic-Con and people will be dressed up like Mord-Siths, and I don't know whether they're being Kara or, I forget the other one's name, or, who they're being, but it's like people are obsessed.
You know what I think is really cool about the Mord-Sith, because it was all about feminine power.
Mm.
I mean, it's a little bit bent with the domination. Like it's a little bit bent,
A little bit.
just a little bit. Uh, but it 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 was like ultimate feminine power,
Mm.
and women being in charge,
Yeah.
and tuning into like that savvy, aggressive kung fu nature
Yeah.
that's in
It
all of
actually
us.
reminds me a lot of the Black Widow in the Marvel universe, the same
Yeah,
thing where it's like this training
totally.
school and only women, there I feel like there's a lot of parallels there.
Totally. And what about the Sisters of the Dark? I mean,
Yeah,
far out.
I know.
Um, yeah, so I think to be a Maud Sith, you've got to be hardcore brave, and
Mm.
just fight for what you believe in to the end.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Um, all right, let me find another good question. Um, okay, this one's cute. Would you like to have your magic? I'm assuming they mean your character's magic in real life.
Me or you? What about you?
I would not like to have my character. Well, both of us. I mean, I would not like to have that power. No thanks.
Yeah, I
Too
would.
much, you know?
I'd want that power.
Yeah, Tab. I love you. That's so good. All right. Is it better to be a Mord-Sith or a Confessor? I think it's better to be. Oh, it's breaking up. Can you hear me? Hello? Internet connection stinks. Let me try moving. Let me try relocating. Um, maybe maybe if you hang up Tab and try to request to join again, we'll have a better connection. Do you want to try that? Okay. I'm gonna have Tab rejoin because she was totally frozen for me. Are you guys still here? All right, let's see. Here she is. Let's try this again. Hopefully the internet gods will be with us. Bridget, we can see you fine. We can't see Tab. There she is.
I've just moved, so that
You're
like
great now.
Boston can come in. How are you doing this like taping thing? Like I'm holding it with my arm.
I'm holding it with my arm too right now. Before I had it leaning on a lamp. But I'm
so
hiding in my bedroom from my children.
Ah,
I was like, Amen, sorry. I've been doing the other ones at night, but if I were to do it at that time, it would be like, you know, 3 in the morning for you. So
yeah,
I was like, but I'm just so thankful we made it work.
I know. How's Eamon?
He's great. He's on a writing deadline right now. He's writing a movie for Netflix, and
Well,
they want it soon, which is great. It's really encouraging that, you know, the business isn't like fully shut down. I mean, nothing's filming, of course, but
mhm.
writers can still write. So that's really great. It's just difficult with children and a house and me trying to homeschool my 9-year-old and keep the 2-year-old happy and feed them, and you know, but it's fine. I am thinking, I'm just, my mindset right now is that I'm just so like thankful that Eamon's working and thankful that we're all healthy and we're lucky enough to be home. And I'm just so thankful for all the doctors and nurses and medical professionals that are out there doing it. And we just have the luxury of chilling at home.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because these like, first responders didn't sign up for this,
No.
that they didn't sign up for it.
Yeah.
And
No.
and even like, I mean, what everyone's saying, the supermarket workers, the
Yes. Essential workers. Thank
yeah,
you.
amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
All right, let me get a few more questions and then I'll let you carry on with your day. Okay, how did you manage the sword dagger fighting scenes like you did? I assume they also mean Ajil. How did you
Yep.
manage your fight scenes, Tab?
I just used to like pray to God before we'd go into a fight. Like, please don't slice my head open.
Oh my
Because
God.
I remember but I mean, it was pretty fun, like, but it was gnarly. I mean, we'd have like 10 minutes to learn a fight sequence, you know. Um,
Yeah.
what about
Yep.
you?
I remember I remember one day, it was during season 2. I don't know if you remember this, but I hit a wall. I hit a wall, like my brain could not retain it. My back was done. Um, I really really hit a wall, and um, I forget what ended up happening. Whether Dana did it and then I went and shot it later, um, but it was overall I needed the fight choreography like really far in advance because it took my brain some time for it to settle down and so I could actually remember it. And I
You
also think it's so much harder when you have two weapons. Like I was like, Craig, you have this so much easier. You have one weapon and it's always like when we did that sword fight that I was talking about, I was like, this is so much easier to remember.
Mm.
And the whole time I was thinking he was like this fight savant. And I was like, hey man, yours is easier. I'm also doing this in wizard sleeves, you know? Like, come on. And extensions. Like, we had hair and, like, you know, whatever. Anyhow, I couldn't have done it without Dana. She was and is, I think, one of the best stunt women alive.
Mm.
And, an incredible choreographer. And when she started doing the choreography, it got easier for me because she knew the costume, she knew
Mm.
everything. But I now when I look back on it, I think the fights really made the show. So I'm so thankful that we did it and all like the slow-mo and everything. Like it's so hilarious and awesome. And like it you know, it really the show really was what it was, you know? And yeah. But yeah, shout out to Dana.
Do you still hear from her at all?
I follow her on Instagram.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Did you see the new Mad Max? She doubled Charlize Theron in that, shaved her head.
Did she?
Yeah,
Wow.
and she did. Do you remember when her character was, Charlize Theron was like under the semi truck, like
Yeah.
climbing underneath it? That was all Dana.
Wow. She's
Yeah,
brilliant.
yeah, she really is.
A
She really,
goddess.
really is.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think she has a stunt school in New Zealand, and she's training people. Um, I would love to work with her again. Let's just put that out into the universe one day.
Yeah.
All right, let me look for one more question,
Sure.
because these are so great. You guys sent in so many. Thank you so much.
Are they coming through like?
They come through maybe only for me because I started the live. I don't know, guys. Maybe you can tell me in the comments how it works. All right, this is a good one. Are you happy with the end of Legend of the Seeker? I preferred our alternate ending that you posted today on your Instagram.
Yes. Well, and it was kind of that thing, like I can't even remember how it ended. How did it end? With the
We saved the world. It all worked out. We got the Stone of Tears to the little Raiders of the Ark spot looking place.
Yes. I remember like the tears, that. How did, like, if it was going for a season 3, what were they thinking was going to be the next phase?
I don't know. We'd have to ask Ken Biller.
Yeah.
What they would have done, but I'm sure there would have just been a new threat, a new thing that because it wasn't like Craig Parker's character died, right? He was still alive, wasn't he? Or did we kill him? Stone of Tears to the Pillars of Creation. Thank you.
Yeah.
You guys, the fans, know you guys are all so amazing.
Amazing. Been a decade forgotten.
I would have killed to see the storyline of Faith of the Fallen to be played out on TV. I don't know that one. But I feel like there was a ton of material that we could have done should it have gone forward. But I think it was always tricky with Seeker because in the States it was syndicated, so it was on different channels at different times on different days. So it wasn't like we could say, hey, Thursdays at 9 or whatever, and we couldn't get the community together. There was no like live tweeting. There was no, all together we're watching this show vibe. And I think because the fans are so awesome and, there really is a community, it would have been great for the show to have that connection, if we could have, but who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
I kind of wish it had have gone another season,
You do, yeah. I know. I would have liked it at the time. I mean, I was pregnant with Frankie and we would have had to figure it out, but yeah.
Oh my God, of course. 10 years ago. Yeah, 10 years ago.
I know. Can you believe that? I do remember I was like rearing on a horse and I was pregnant and I was like, should I be doing this? And then Dana took over.
So you knew, because that whole, like that episode was amazing because that's when you had like the black eyes and you'd been possessed. Right. And you were like, oh my God.
Wait, did I know? Maybe I didn't know. Maybe I didn't know because then
How did you feel doing that, rearing on a horse? Had you ever done that before?
You know what? It wasn't until I went and worked on another show with horses. It never aired, the show, but I didn't realize how amazing Wayne was and how amazing his animals were until I went and worked on another show. I thought all movie horses were that great and that the training was that good. His animals were like, I mean, do you remember that they knew action and they would like go on action?
What I remembered is that every time action was called, one of them would go to the toilet.
And then we'd be like, hold for sound.
I'd be like, hang on, they're doing a whiz. Wait a second.
I do remember like the horses like disappeared because everybody got tired of probably waiting for the whizzing to stop. And I was like, and then we were walking all the time and we're like, can we get the horses back? I'm tired of running.
We were, and I was in really high boots, you know, those like really high wedge boots.
I was
Crazy.
in flats, thank God. Thank
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
I would have lost my mind if I had been in heels, or I would have broken an ankle. I'm surprised you didn't.
Well, I rolled often, like on my ankle.
Because we were like, you know, not solid ground. There would be like patchy, you know,
it was
holes.
mush.
Yeah.
Walking in leather, tight leather, in like high heel wedges.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
Crazy.
It's so good to see you, Bridget. It's so good to see you.
Oh, it's so great.
So tell me about this show that you've been doing, Paradise Lost. Is that right?
Yeah. So it comes out next Monday, but it's only going to be in the States.
Okay.
For a little while, and then it'll go. I'm not sure what the international distribution is going to be like yet, but it's for Charter Spectrum, which is a cable. It's actually like a cable provider, but now they're doing their own original content. They have a show with Jessica Alba and Gabrielle Union. They have a remake of Mad About You. So they're really like, you could only watch it. Like, you can't buy it on iTunes. Like, there's no way to watch it except if you have your cable or your internet through Charter Spectrum. So I hope a lot of people have that for their cable, for their internet. I don't know. But yeah, it was great. It was 4 months. We shot in Louisiana.
Yep.
The cast was a dream. I mean, it was.
It's the cast: Josh Hartnett and Bucky.
Yep. And Nick Nolte and many other awesome actors. Gail Bean, Shane McCrae, Danielle Deadwheeler, Silas Weir Mitchell, like all these really great, interesting, really full characters. It's a Southern mystery. I'm kind of like the audience in it because I'm the outsider who comes to my husband's small town. And so along with the audience, I'm discovering all these deep, dark secrets that have been hidden away from me. And my character has OCD, and she's really relentless and doesn't let go of things. And yeah, I mean, it was a heavy shoot. It was, I mean, you can imagine if you're playing a character that is married to someone and then you find out there's a whole part of them you don't know, you know. So it was really heavy, but a total dream job, like head to toe, like just, and all consuming, you know, the way that I love when, you know, when you're a guest on a show and you kind of pop in and you pop out, you feel like you're just getting your footing by the time the end of your scene happens, you know? Whereas I feel like when you're a lead of a show, you really get to settle in and relax more. At least that's my experience. Like whenever I would rap on Jane the Virgin, they would be moving on to other scenes that day, and they'd be sending me home, and I'm like, but I want to stay. Like, I want to do more scenes.
Yeah. Because what happened in the Virgin? You were there doing recurring, and then you became a series regular?
I was always recurring all 5 years. Yep.
Whoa.
Yep.
Whoa.
Yep. And it was great because it was like I got to go work on Last Ship and Agent Carter, and they would work out the schedules. But I also played this really over-the-top character who was, you know, running an underground plastic surgery ring and also was a master of disguise. So 2 other incredible actresses played our character on the show. Yeah. So when I was really busy on like Last Ship, then, you know, Elizabeth Rom would play Rose, but in disguise.
Because that's what I remember you telling me when I caught up with you at the Grove, like your schedule, like you'd gone from Agent Carter to Jane the Virgin, and it was like you only had like an hour or 2 sleep, and you were going between the two.
Yeah, it was nuts. But it was like, I mean, as an actor, you know, it's so often feast or famine with us, you know, like they're banging on your door and you like, I mean, the times when I've had offers for jobs and I can't do them. And then you're like, well, where were you guys those 4 months when I wasn't doing anything, you know, like it's always raining and pouring or a drought, you know? So thankfully I had enough experience at that point where I really appreciated it, and I you know, it was pinch myself lucky, you know, like it's not, that doesn't happen often, you know, to be that. Unfortunately, it set my bar very high. So now it's like whenever I'm not working, I'm like driving my agent and manager insane. You know, I'm like, I want to work, I want to work, I want to work. Let's go to work, let's go to work. And they're like, relax.
Yeah.
And now we're all forced to relax. You know, I'm like, all right, time to really use this time to reflect. I'm gonna enjoy my children. You know, I'm going to do some spring cleaning. That's what I've been doing this week. You know, yeah.
My bathroom has never been cleaner.
Nice.
You know, like it's like every little corner is like,
yes,
amazing. And I'm like, wow, this is cool. Like my place is really clean. I mean,
have you still been doing theater? I remember that amazing play you and your friends did. It was a Shanley play, right? That I came and saw.
Did you come and see that?
Yeah.
That John Patrick Stanley. I haven't been doing any theater. No, I haven't. Gosh, that was a really fun play.
It was wild. It was like so fun and wild and crazy. And you guys were, it was great. You guys were going for it. I loved it.
Yeah, it was set in the 80s. No, I haven't been doing any theater. What's happening in the States? Has everything shut down? Like, have all the productions closed?
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, wow. What happened with pilot season? Like, you know, what's happening there?
I have a friend who has a pilot that's going. He wrote it and he's going to be in it. And, you know, it's just postponed right now indefinitely. So, they will shoot it eventually, but they don't know when.
Because I would have imagined that, you know, the pilots that would have been shooting, like they would have had to have stopped or,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Been like,
I remember seeing it kind of, it wasn't like an overnight thing. I feel like, you know, I saw, you know, I worked on, I follow all the actors on MacGyver because I worked on that show in Atlanta and I saw them rap, and then I saw friends on shows here in LA rap and New York. You know, it was like each production kind of made their call at a different time. And that was the same with schools, you know, state by state, they were closed down at different times. But I'm hoping that, you know, I don't know when we're all going to be able to go back to work. I'm hoping it'll be the summer, but it might be the fall, you know, we'll see. Yeah. How about in Australia? Are you guys shooting still, or has that been?
No, they've as far as I know, they've stopped all the productions, because how can you, you know, I mean, it's so contagious, and there's so many people generally, you know, involved in making anything. I think there's still like, there's like a little bit of like television commercials and things like that being shot, I think, because you don't need such a bigger crew. But in terms of, you know, the TV shows and everything, yeah, I mean, Australia's sort of like 3 weeks behind you guys, so right. You know, like we're sort of starting to have, you know, everything shut down.
Right.
It's crazy. It's like being in a really bad Hollywood movie. You know, it's kind of like, make it stop. You know, I want my money back. I don't like this movie.
Yeah.
Make it stop.
I know. I keep thinking about all the things that are going to be written about this time, you know, like you can imagine the rom-com, like the guy and girl that are stuck in quarantine together, or the girl and girl, or the guy and guy, you know, and they fall in love or they hate each other. I mean, it feels like it could be a great Hallmark movie for some of them. You know?
Yeah. I mean, there's probably a lot of people in quarantine right now that are like, oh, I can't believe I'm in quarantine with you know.
Hopefully everybody out there is in quarantine with someone treating them well, because I read about people being in abusive situations and how hard that must be, and I cannot imagine you know, adding on top of how difficult everything is for everyone right now, and then to be in a situation where you don't feel safe as well. I just hope that everybody out there is getting help from whoever they can. I know there's a lot of resources out there, but it's, you know, that's why my focus has been on being thankful every day, as opposed to the mindset instead of, oh, I'm stuck in quarantine. I'm lucky to be in quarantine, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's like finding your process through the process of this situation, like we're all dealing with it in different ways, and it's day by day, but
Glass half full. Yep.
yeah, totally
Oh,
just being.
okay. I'm afraid we're going to get kicked off soon. Everybody keeps telling me that. So, yes, everyone, I will save this to my story so that
Yes.
you guys can watch it if you weren't able to, or if it was the middle of the night, wherever you are. Um, I'm just so thankful to see you, Tab, and that you're safe and you're healthy. And I'm so thankful that we got to spread a little joy into some people's lives.
Yes. Thanks, Bridget.
It's so great to see you. Lots of love.
Bye, honey. See ya.
Bye. Ciao.